Nasty shit. Peace to the half space. I don't know if I'm actually live in the half space today. I wasn't live in the half space, and then it gave me the Facebook space, and it told me I was scheduled for the YouTube space, but I never went through. So it is what it is. Facebook picked it up, and people made their comments through there. And then they got on Haps, and they were making comments, but they couldn't make comments through the feed. So I'm not sure if you're there, if you got your notifications or not today. Well, we'll check on that. We got to check on that. We got to make sure. Maybe I hit something. I don't know. I just saw somebody sweeping up cigarette butts, and it was really gross. I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe like a cantaloupe from afar. I thought like a cantaloupe had burst or something, and it was a whole bunch of orange shit. It was a bunch of orange cigarette butts. And if somebody's sweeping these up, and it's raining, and it's obviously a job I know somebody has to do. It's a job that I know somebody has to do. I get that. I hate seeing elderly black men doing that type of job, knowing probably what type of life he's already lived. Now, if he's working at Kroger's and he's working on the inside, okay. But to see him out here in this cold, in the rain, and I know the temperatures aren't really bad right now, but they're bad enough. It does something to me, I mean, it does something to me. I know there's integrity with all jobs, but for me, elderly black men. I guess I'm considered an elderly black man. I got an AARP card. Elderly black men, what they've gone through. I mean, anybody that's 20, 25 years older than me, it's really gross. Facebook user, it's really gross, and it's because one of the things too, because I smoke cannabis and hemp, and I have a tip, I have a filter, but I never let it get to my mind to throw it out the window, to drop it on the ground. I mean, I smoke hemp outside, staying outside, but I always put my tip, my filter, whatever people want to call it, I always put it back in my container. And I take it with me, and then I, get back to the car, I put it in the ashtray, whatever. I never, ever think about it. This is cannabis and hemp, but people with cigarettes, they throw their cigarette butts on the ground. I think it should be a offense where you can be cited for, you'd have to pay a fine for, because you're fucking up a lot of shit when you do that. I know they fuck up the sewer system. It's an eyesore to see cigarette butts floating in the little puddles of water, and then this man out here, and they have ashtrays, everything. That's the craziest thing. They have ashtrays everywhere where you can put it in the ashtray. Why don't you put it in the ashtray? Why do you flick it on the ground? But see, these type of people are the same people that'll call themselves Americans. They'll call themselves patriots. They'll call themselves citizens. And they're pieces of shit is what they are. You're littering. You are littering when you throw a cigarette butt on the ground. It's nasty. When you flick it out of your window, it's nasty. I mean, you smoking in your car and you're going to flick a cigarette butt out of the car. How many times I've cussed motherfuckers out for flicking cigarette butts out and either almost hit my car or I just see them do this. I don't even see where the butt goes. You're flicking something that's got a lit flame on it, for one. And if it hits the wrong car, kaboom. But it's also nasty. It's littering. As I'm going through and I'm seeing this island driving down here on Parkway, I see little orange specks of people that have flicked their cigarette butts into the islands. I think you need to be cited for shit like that. It just bothered me. What mostly bothered me was that man out there. It just bothered me. So I got a couple things I really want to talk about. And I want to talk about them because they need to be talked about. I don't know how many people that are going to see this watched Joe Biden last night. I watched. I don't watch for entertainment. I don't watch because I support Joe Biden. I watch to stay informed. And I'm so glad that I watched last night and I did not return the text message to the Democratic Party representative who had texted me earlier in the day. I will make sure that I return her message. Actually, I think she texted me Tuesday. Either way, I'll return Shelly's text today when I slow up a bit to get out in this bullshit for a little while, but it is what it is. Joe Biden, and I don't know how many black people of color, hell, white people are tired of Joe Biden saying that police brutality has been the knee on the neck of black people. But he can retire that phrase any fucking time. Anytime. If he wants to make us feel better about some shit, try not to use phrasing that implies the detriment to us. I mean, when we think of knee on the neck, we think of Derek Chauvin. Still buffering free? Brother Lax, I appreciate you subscribing to the Half Space. A lot of informing people on here, Brother Lax. You might like to listen to some of the content other than myself. Smart motherfuckers like yourself be on here doing some things. But he uses this phrase. He's used it twice in a week now. Knee on the neck of Black America. I'm not sure exactly why he thinks that is a cool phrase to use, but it isn't. I know that they said that this was probably the most progressive address since, I forgot who they said. Don't matter. It don't matter. 1964. I think it was something weird. Something. This is not. Nothing's been. I don't get it. But I think it's just because there's so many different people getting things done for them is why it's progressive. But if you go back 20, 30, 40, 50 years, it wasn't that many people in this motherfucker. That's why it wasn't that progressive. That's why it couldn't be that progressive. If you were progressive back in the day, you were simply doing things or said you were going to do things for black folks. Hey, Kyra, how you doing? From the hometown. Appreciate y'all support. I think everybody in here is from Ann Arbor right now. Appreciate that. If you're not from Ann Arbor and you're in here, Create a digital footprint for me. Fingerprint, thumbprint, whatever. I think I say digital footprint because everybody says digital footprint. Maybe I should just start saying create a digital thumbprint. You know. But yeah, he said some things and they said it was just so progressive. And it's because he talked about all these different people that he's going to do things for. And I get that. But he still ain't talking about doing anything for Black Americans. And I get that. And that's why the Democrats, unfortunately, will lose in 2024. I don't know who to, but they're going to disband their party. They're going to tear their party up just at the soul of it. And I'm not talking SOUL. I'm talking SOLE. The soul, the heel of the Democratic Party is Black Americans. And he's losing Black Americans by the day. Funny thing, listening to Tim Scott, and I don't know who Black that votes for Tim Scott, but whoever votes for Tim Scott, he might have lost them too. See, I can't believe that every Black conservative or every Black Republican believes that America is not a racist country. I mean, hell, you've heard presidents say America was built on slavery, hate, this, that, and the other. So you know there's racism. There's been a history of it. Before it was America, it was racist. How can you say that we are totally absolved of racism now? A select few, my brother, a select few. But everybody ain't gonna stay there. It's cringeworthy to me just to hear, you know, to hear. It's like somebody looking at you and they don't have a gun in their hand, but they just go like this. I mean, to me, when a police officer goes for his gun, when he unsnaps that rivet where his gun is strapped in, that's a threat. And I've had that happen several times. I know people that have had it happen several times. This is before all the tasers and all that shit. They had mag lights, they had nightsticks, and they had guns. There was no tasers. I don't even really remember pepper spray. Hell, I think I was carrying around pepper spray before I saw police carry around pepper spray when I worked at Harry's Army Surplus. Pepper spray is new to me as far as police go. I know they probably had it in their arsenal, but you know, it is what it is. Lady going to get across there. She looks like she's about 137 years old. I'm over in there in the Burns Park area. Over in your old stomping grounds. Lax. Burns Park tapping area. And there's somebody in a gold Honda Accord. She's at least 137 years old. And she's at the gas station. It's so funny. You got a gas station over here, Circle K. They got 34 gas pumps. This old lady goes to this gas station right here that has 4 gas pumps. It's changed names about 50 times in our lifetime. And she goes to this gas station versus going to the one that she can probably get right in and out. And it's only because of loyalty. That's why she goes to this gas station. It's not the easiness of it, because you can go there for easiness, but she goes to this gas station out of loyalty and what she knows. And it's not even the same owners as it was years ago when people used to just go here. I remember going to that gas station years and years ago. I try not to go to any of these motherfuckers now. The gas prices at a regular gas station, it's crazy. They say gas prices are even cheaper than Sam's at Costco. Got to check into that. Sammy holding out on us or what? So if I'm still buffering, I apologize. I should be in a pretty good area now. I'm not sure if I'm clear or not. But yeah, Tim Scott, to know that a so-called black man could be that lost and be that powerful. You got to understand, Tim Scott is powerful. If they allowed him to, I'm talking about the Republican Party, if they allowed him to speak last night, out of all the Republicans that they could have had go up there, they had Tim Scott. Now, it was strategic. It was a good time to have a Negro speak. And they don't have very many Negroes on the Republican side. They're saving Burgess Owens for all the thwarting. They'll save him for the reparations, judiciary hearings, to say anything against black Americans that he can. But Tim Scott, he's polished. He's a little mush mouthed, and he's worked on that, because he's educated, but he's polished in politics, and he can speak that shit the way he needs to speak it. But, he doesn't realize that half the people he works with wouldn't shake his hands if the cameras weren't on him. He's totally oblivious to that shit. He thinks that he's really been accepted into white society. No, you've been accepted into politics. And I don't even know if you're accepted. I think you're tolerated, if anything. But Donald Trump was just rolled all through his message, and he kept paying homage to the former administration. And I know with all this voter registration shit, none of this will be going on had Donald Trump won. Good afternoon, my sister. How you doing today? None of this will be going on. Sister, what state are you in? I couldn't pick it out by the area code. What state are you in? Oh boy. Let the good times roll. West Virginia, that's is that Michael Vick territory? West Virginia? I know it's a place they got some West Virginia got some outback places, right? They got some outback. Like you get off in the hills and it gets a little crazy out there in West Virginia. Huh. No West Virginia. Did a little bit of racism. A little bit of racism in West Virginia. A little bit of racism everywhere, but Um, but Tim Scott is a individual that he's dangerous for us. That's why you can't let any of this shit get to you. You can't let the politics get to you. It's about exchange. What's going on at Pioneer? It's like the school's back in over there. Is school in? I mean, it's packed. I thought everybody was doing virtual learning. It's packed. Really dangerous this morning listening to the governor and her people dangerous. Dangerous. I mean, she brought on all the frilly stuff, and then she let Garland get up there and Johnny get up there. I heard her name pronounced two different ways this week. It's Jonah or Jonah. And somebody's supposed to be trying to work on getting me a spot with her, talk with her. I mean, she's the top medical motherfucker in the state. She's right from Ann Arbor. Speaks on TV every day. Just want to salute the young black queen. You know, I know other motherfuckers, they gonna run out and try to get it now since I put it out there in the atmosphere. I don't care. If she's open to doing interviews, I don't care who does them first, second, or third. It doesn't matter to me. None of my content is like anybody else's content. None of my questions are like anybody else's questions anyway. And y'all can't deliver like I do. So y'all need to stop fucking chasing a motherfucker with 400 subscribers. I done told y'all. That's some bum ass shit. Go chase Joe Rogan. Go chase Joe Budden. Go chase Joe Mama. I don't give a fuck who you're chasing. We're not in competition out here. There is no competition out here. You motherfuckers better learn how to fucking talk before you start fucking with me. Sister Kim, I appreciate the coins. Thank you. Thank you. If you subscribe to the Half Space and you got those coins, we appreciate them. We appreciate them. It helps us move our broadcasting needle. Ain't nobody out here trying to get rich. We're trying to move the needle. And we can move the needle by moving the message. If you ain't with that, then that's okay. I get that. But when you signed up, you get the coins. And when you get the coins, you know, you can remit to a content creator such as myself or anybody else you check out. I watch other casts just so I can disperse coins that I've earned from broadcasting. Brother was out getting some pizza last night. And it was interesting content because all he was just in a pizza shop. He was getting some pizza. It was interesting, 5-10 minute video, whatever I watched. Just dropped a high five on him. You know, because it was interesting. Brother Lax, have a great day. Check out the rest of this feed. I think I still got about where I got through Tim Scott, talked about the Democrats. The independents, I know you'll probably want to check back in on this. I'm looking at independents, Brother Lax. I'm gonna have to officially leave the Democratic Party. And I've never really been with the Democratic Party. I just didn't have anybody else to vote for. Now I got to find somebody else to vote for. Because it's not looking good for Black Americans and Democrats. So until you do right by me, that's what yesterday's title was. I don't even think I mentioned that phrase. So yes, you have a great day. Hopefully it's sunny in New Hampshire. Or at least not raining. Because right now it's raining here. It's bullshit. 80, and now we're not even going to hit 60 degrees today. Okay. Fuck you, Michigan. So yeah. Yeah, I'm looking for independent party. Sister Kim, I know you deep into politics too. I don't know who's out there, but it's got to be somebody that's going to be for us. And I'm all about fracturing the vote at this point. I'm definitely about fracturing the vote. I want to take enough Black Democrats away from the Democrats and make them independents. So basically, I should have said, I want to take black voters away from the Democrats, get them to the independents. I want to take black conservatives and get them to the independents. And I want to take people who don't vote at all and get them to the independents. I think as we bring our youth up, we need to start talking about independent voting versus Democrat and Republican. The youth is our future. So there's only going to be so many old people that I fuck with on this. I'll be fucking with the youth to think independently, vote independently. We can fracture the Democrats and the Republicans. If they're not going to do right by us, we fracture them. We don't complain. We don't bitch and moan. We set demands and we get candidates. And we get candidates to do right by us. If you're going to do right by us, we're good. If you're not, who's next? Who's next? Where I'm at, I'm pretty just cut and dry now, man. Just cut and dry. I can't allow myself to get taken out of here knowing that I'll leave my grandkids and my kids just being Democrats for no reason. Democrats for no reason. Man, I want to go all the way back. I want to go all the way back to December 11th. So he must have said this somewhere right around December 10th. We're getting it close. And this is what it is. This is where he's at.
This is a completely closed call, so just want to remind you of that. There's no recording.
I'm the first person, black or white, who calls attention to the fact that you were finding that there was the rate of people who are African Americans who are dying was 3 times that of white people. I don't carry around a stamp on my head saying progressive and I'm AOC, but I have more of a record of getting things done in the United States Congress than anybody you know. Let's get something straight. You shouldn't be disappointed. What I've done so far is more than anybody else has done this far. Okay? Number one. Number two, I mean what I say when I say it. There's some things that I'm going to be able to do by executive order. I'm not going to hesitate to do it. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do what used to, Anita, you probably used to get angry with me during the debates when you'd have some of the people you were supposed to have, on day one, I'm going to executive order to do this. Not within the constitutional authority. I am not going to violate the Constitution. There is a Constitution. It's our only hope. Our only hope. And the way to deal with it is where I have executive authority, I will use it to undo every single damn thing this guy has done by executive authority. But I'm not going to exercise executive authority where it's questioned, where I can come along and say, I can do away with assault weapons. There's no executive authority to do away with that. And no one's fought harder to get rid of assault weapons than me. Me. But you can't do it by executive order. If you do that, next guy comes along and says, well, guess what? By executive order, I guess everybody can own machine guns again. So we got to be careful. I know you all know this. I know you know it. I don't think we should make that a big issue going into before January 5th when the election takes place down in Georgia. But I also don't think we should get too far ahead of ourselves on dealing with police reform in that, because they've already labeled us as being defund the police. Anything we put forward in terms of the organizational structure to change policing, which I promise you will occur. Promise you. Just think to yourself and give me advice whether we should do that before January 5th, because that's how they beat the living hell out of us across the country, saying that we're talking about defunding the police. We're not. We're talking about holding them accountable. I just raised it with you to think about. How much do we push between now and January 5th? We need those 2 seats about police reform.
Yeah. Yeah. I got back right after he was done. That's good. Right as he was ending. So that's all I need to do. That's when he was talking to all them old Negroes in that meeting. That's when he was talking to them henpecked Negroes and ain't gonna do nothing for us. We had the CBC in there. We had the NAACP in there. We had NAN in there. I mean, who else is in there? Mark Muriel, was he in Cobra? We had a whole bunch of them. Whole bunch of acronyms. Acronyms. Doing nothing for us. They're not going to do anything for us. All Democrats, obviously. It'd be different, if he have all the black people in there and he have a conservative up in the corner, could have been kicking a little rebuttal back. He didn't have nothing. He just had everybody that was already on the Democrat side. Tim Scott wasn't in there. Burgess Owens wasn't in there. I want to see how he'll do with all the black conservatives. Will he meet with all black conservatives? I mean, it'd be just like meeting with white people, but they black. How would he talk to them? Because, Joe likes to reach across the aisle. He likes to reach across the aisle. You gonna reach across the aisle to some black Republicans? Let's see how that works. That'd be the most confusing shit ever. More confusing than Randy Quaid and Caitlyn Jenner running for governor of California. That's some confusing shit. He don't need to run as Randy Quaid. He needs to run as Eddie from the Vacation movies. That would make for good television. That would make for good debates. Come up there in a white beater and shit and a can of beer, his white patent leather shoes on. If we're gonna make theater out of politics, let's just make theater out of politics. And Caitlyn Jenner running for governor of California. Oh boy, don't let that motherfucker win. That celebration party would be off the chain. They might just fucking loosen California all the way up there and just roll it right out into the ocean. Yeah. Bruce Jenner, who's now Caitlyn Jenner, governor of California. Oh yeah, ex-husband of Kris Kardashian. Got it. Hey, if you're in Detroit and you want to drive somebody to get a vaccine, you can get $50. It's the $50 holla. Duggan done rolled out. You get $50 for driving people. I think it's called Good People, if I'm not mistaken. You get $50 for taking somebody to get the vaccine. They're paying people $50 to take people to go get the vaccine. Paying people. Not Uber, not Lyft, not People Dash, not cab companies. Real, regular people. They're just paying individuals off the street. You got to sign up for a program, and I guess that's how they probably send you the money. Yeah. And then you take somebody, and I don't know how it gets all verified, you get it all vetted, but yeah, you get $50. Then they give you the gift card. Real shit. Real shit. Real shit. So, Yeah, it's going to be one of those days. I mean, they're just talking silly, like they expected so much different. He's shown you in the first 100 days nothing. So why get upset about it now? Don't get upset about it right now. Don't get upset about it now. We got to take care of business in 22, and we got to take care of business in 24. I'm looking to independent candidates. I mean, it is what it is. I don't see anything coming from Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. I don't. Joe Biden is not going to be a good president for us, and Kamala Harris will be worse. She will be worse. Hey, who knows? Maybe Tim Scott, seeing that he's one of the most powerful Republicans right now, maybe he'll run for president. A black Republican president? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Tim's against reparations, so he'll kill HR 40 if that ever happens. We'll be back at square one again. This shit doesn't happen now, or we get an independent candidate in there, it's not going to happen. Just saying. All right. Well, I'll be back. Back out in the bullshit. And you guys be good. We'll talk soon.